Hello, guys. It's Letty. We're doing another segment of for our Trekkies out there. We will be I will be reviewing an episode of Enterprise. That was the prequel series. This episode is called Fusion. It is in season one. It's episode 17, and this episode is the first episode, to my knowledge, where we have encountered a type of Vulcan, where they're called the Vatash Qatar. Now, as we know Vulcans to be, um, as we know Vulcans to be, very stoic, very serious, very in control of their emotions, and this particular um, these particular Vulcans that we meet, they are asking for help with ship repairs. They encounter the Enterprise, Captain Archer, and the gang, and they are in need of repairs. And right away, we know something's different because they're very polite. Everybody starts looking. It's so funny to see that these little these little, not idiosyncrasies, but these little peaks of interest from the crew on the bridge, and they're like, "Oh my gosh, they're so pleasant. They're so nice." So these guys come aboard the ship. So we meet the captain of the ship, the Vulcan. So he explains what they're doing, and Paul right away recognizes that they're from a group called the Vatash Qatar, and they're Vulcans more that are more relaxed. They're okay with their emotions. They're not trying to suppress them. They have more of a human you know feel to them. They eat chicken. They're not vegetarian. They're not, they eat animal flesh. And she's just got, her eyes are just bulging. I love the dinner scene when they first meet and they're having dinner with Paul and Captain Archer. So, and we meet the captain, and the captain seems really nice and pleasant. And then we meet his one of his crew members, and right away you get kind of a really eerie feel for him. I know I did. I think most people do. If you look at him, he just looks kind of like he's up to something. So they have their dinner and they explain what they're doing. They explain the Vatash Qatar. They're explorers. And he actually said they're explorers not just of the galaxy, but they're explorers of their themselves. I thought that was a very interesting, take on things. So it's fascinating because this I don't remember, and I've seen just about all Star Trek, but I don't remember meeting this group in any other Star Trek. Now, if I'm wrong, put it in the comments section, guys. Or I haven't read any books either, so this group maybe have been explored at another time. But anyway, so they're off, exploring this nebula, this part of space that Captain Archer has only seen in books and read about as a kid, and now he's actually going to see it, and it's kind of exciting to see something when you were a kid. And I can definitely vouch for that myself. I have been able to see things as an adult that I've had the money to explore that I wanted to see as a kid. And I know how that I can definitely relate to that. So anyway, T'Pol becomes close to the captain's assistant. Trying to think of his name. I'll put his name in the comments here and his picture. I can't think of his name right now, but he's already trying to sway her into not meditating and just trying to encourage her to. Yeah, so he is we can already see the manipulation happening. He's trying to encourage her, and he does convince her not to meditate because she's adamant about meditating. So he does convince her not to, and she already, just the one night she doesn't meditate, she already is having issues neurologically. So it's a serious, mind males are pretty serious, as we have seen probably in other episodes, not other episodes, but other Star Treks. We know this is serious. It's not something to be taken lightly. So Yeah. So and then on the side we have a side episode, not a side episode. We have another part of this episode where it's another member of the crew, and he's distanced from his father. He has a lot of questions about humanity, and it's kind of funny when Trip is trying to explain to him. They're in the mess hall, and Trip is trying to explain to him human cultures and football. He looks at a football game and he thought they were trying to kill somebody. He didn't realize it was a game. So it's really funny. I kind of like that little sidebar. Although the estrangement from the father, I think we've seen that in a lot of things. I think even some of us have that going on personally, but I did enjoy him just having the questions about humanity. So it's kind of, I like that part of it. I guess I could have did without the father thing. I think that I wish they would have left that out and just had him curious about humanity, and then Trip is asking him about Vulcan mating rituals and stuff. It was kind of funny. The mess hall episode was kind of funny with Trip, and then Malcolm comes over and he's asking, he gets into the conversation, and everybody kind of turn around because he says sex kind of loud, and everybody in the mess hall kind of turned around. That was a good moment. But what I really want to talk about, so this episode deals with something very, very sensitive. They're not. It's an indirect nod, not a nod, but an indirect nod is the wrong word. An indirect reference to rape, because the mind meld at the later part of the episode gets he comes into her room one night. She's and then they do a mind meld, and he wants to insist on furthering the mind meld, continuing it. And she had already said that at some point she was done, like she didn't want to do it anymore, and it's reminiscent of the most traumatic thing that a human being can do it to another person is rape. I've always said that, and my husband and I talked about that. I mean, it's just horrible. So it's sort of very reminiscent of that having been done to a woman. And when she says no, and he is just insistent, he doesn't let her go. She has to push him away, and she winds up in sick bay, and she has some severe neurological damage. Not damage, but she has some neurological effects, because the doctor says she didn't have any damage, as we know now. As we know later on that might have caused something. So, but that's later on in the episodes. But um, so it's a serious episode. Like, they're dealing with a lot of this is very, there's a lot of references. So I just thought it was very well written, very well done. This was written by Brandon Braga and Rick Berman. This was top tier writing here. I mean, every episode of all the Star Trek have a weak one. This one was definitely one of their top ones. This was directed by Rob, I think his name is Hayden. So they did great. My favorite scene actually is when the captain calls him into the office after he finds out that what happened to Paul in their room that night, and Captain Archer, the exchange between him and this Vulcan is powerful. He said, "You assaulted a member of my crew." I mean, he was not playing with him, and it got physical, and it was intense. But you can see that the captain cares about his crew. We learned that Archer has had some feelings. He has some feelings for her, just not serious. I don't think they really went any further with it, but he cares about all his crew. So he's a good captain, like most of the Star Trek captains are. So I really enjoyed this episode. This was one of their best. And season 1 is always a struggle, it seems, with all the Star Treks. That's definitely what they all have in common. They all have weak episodes. They have strong ones. This is definitely one of the stronger ones of Enterprise. So check this episode out. This is called Fusion, episode 17, season 1. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching. Comment down below if you've watched it, if you have any comments, something to add to this video. Like, comment, subscribe, and to my Trekkies, live long and prosper. Take care. Bye.